Yeah, it's another cold one out there. Raining, raindrops keep falling on my head. At least my hair looks like I just rolled out of bed with the little moose. 'Cause raindrops keep falling on my head. They keep falling because I want to be free. Nothing's worrying me. Okay. Well, worry is a sin. You know that, right? We're not supposed to be worrying. We're not supposed to be worrying about what we're going to eat, what we're going to wear, what's over our head. We're not supposed to worry because worry is a sin. Did you know that? We're not called to sin and we're not called to be sinners. Do you know that? A lot of churches, they teach false teaching, saying, you're sinners. You're sinners. You repent, you sinners. They need to repent. Those pastors need to repent because they're teaching false teaching and making everybody crippled and making all the people like children, little baby children, just believe in infinity and beyond, and that we landed on the moon and that we live on a spinning globe, which is all false. None of that is true. And as far as you being a sinner, if you are sinning, stop it. You know how we gotta look at the truth, right? When we look in the mirror, we go, oh, look in the mirror for a second. What's going on here? Uh-oh, kind of frizzy. Must be raining outside. Guess I should probably put more love back into my hair so my hair won't need to go wander and go find the love it needs out there in this cloud. Because what your hair is saying is, hey, I'm thirsty. Giving me something to drink, please. Just like I get thirsty. Where's my water? I get thirsty and I need to drink something because when you're talking, you lose moisture. You need to drink something. Or if you have too much clothes on and the heater and then you start to get hot and sweaty. All of these things mean something. And I keep going back whenever I think about that Richard Dreyfuss, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's what it is, that silly movie, which there's no aliens either. But every time he puts the mashed potatoes on the table, he's all making it smooth, like it means something. The Devil's Tower. Oh, it's so funny. That is all fantasy, you guys. That's not the truth. It's a bunch of lies that we paid money so we can be indoctrinated and inculcated every time we watch something stupid like that. So the truth is, you will know the truth, and then the truth will make you free. But until we know the truth, we won't be free. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my feet are too big for my bed. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the raindrops keep falling. Because I'm free, nothing's worrying me. Okay, I might not have gotten all the words right to that, but that's an old song from when I was a little kid and I still remember it. And you know that you will repeat the things that you think you hear. Like you'd be listening to a song like Elton John and you're thinking the words are sugar bear. So you just keep going with it. Sugar bear. No, it should have been, or something like that. You really have to pay attention. And I love that Zoom I was on yesterday, Malika from livinglawfully.com. She was on there and I love her. She's funny. She cracks me up. She's so funny. But she's right. Reading is reading. But we got to go a step further. We could read something or get distracted by a memo or something. And yeah, we read it. But do we know if it applies to us? Do we act on what we read? you know, that was a good reminder that I just got a little dink. Get a reminder that something's due. But I wanted to thank Morgan and Supreme Bean. They sent me some really good information. I don't know exactly what I need to go over right now. There's so many different things. I'm telling you, there's so many irons in the fire. Like, I really like to learn about that post office thing. Supreme Bean was saying something about you go to the post office and get a money order for like $100. I'm assuming that you pay them Federal Reserve notes to get it or something, right? I don't think they're going to take a money order like our style money order, right? I don't think so. But she's talking about putting on a stamp, like a 5-cent stamp will make it worth $1,000. I was like, what? I want to learn about that. Then Morgan had sent me something about traveling, which, you know, I've seen all the Supreme Court cases. I've written those things, sent them to the courts. They like act like, don't look at that, don't look at that, don't look at that. I don't know what they do with those papers that I send them. I mean, it's kind of weird. It says sent to judges' private chambers. Okay, so guess when it gets private, it's not out in the public, right? But these Supreme Court cases, they're public. It's just that everything gets hidden. I hate that. I mean, I understand why things are supposed to be kept for the mature, and you would purposely hide something from the immature. Or like, you know how you're not supposed to cast all your pearls before swine, lest they trample you underfoot. This is a parable, okay? That doesn't mean you get your pearl necklace and you throw it at pigs. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's talking about your pearls of wisdom. You don't just tell all of your pearls of wisdom, things that were revealed to you, and cast them out there like on the internet on a YouTube video before swine, meaning unclean. You know, pigs are cute, but they're not food, okay? Those are really good animals. Man, they can clear a field, and, you know, if there's any dead bodies or anything out there, they can shoot all up, and they'll eat poop and all that stuff, whatever. They'll eat it all, and they're so cute, but they're not meant for us to eat, okay? It's unclean. They don't have pores to get rid of the toxins. It's kind of interesting that people use, or doctors or technology or whoever, they're using pig stuff for people. What are they saying? Trying to say that you're like a pig? But anyways, I digress. Fact of the matter is that my feet are cold. My feet are cold. So what do I have on here? I got socks, and I got these little sparkly things, and I got a space heater on. It's cold, and obviously I have a lot of material on. It's cold outside. And my dog, I can hear her. She wants to go outside. Do you hear her? She wants to go out there, but it's raining. I don't think she knows that. And I'm hungry. I really want to eat, and I'm tired at the same time. Don't you hate it when you have everything happening at the same time? It's like, I want to eat, but I can eat here in front of everybody. Hello. Pizza sounds good, but I don't eat pork, by the way. No sausage, no pepperoni, because that's not food, okay? Just saying. I don't really know where I'm going with this today, but I was thinking that I need to get on here. Let me go somewhere let's see, share a screen maybe? Finder? Let's go somewhere and find some stuff here. How do you do all this stuff? I don't know. Okay, so let's just go on Safari because I like Safari. What was it called? The Stamp Act? Let's go there. Okay. Can you guys see this? Do I need to make it bigger? Probably, huh? Where's the deal? Do I make it bigger? How do you 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 make it bigger? I don't know. Zoom? Command. I don't know. How do you make it bigger? Plus? I think so. Shift plus? Plus? No. Press thank to search box. No, I don't want to do that. I don't know how to make it bigger. This is a brand new computer. It's an Apple. And I love Apple, by the way. It's great for putting my music and my pictures and my artwork on there. When it comes to like knowing how to do stuff, it makes it harder. I didn't take a class on how to work this computer. Anyway, Stamp Act, an act regulating stamp duty, a tax on the legal recognition of documents. Hey. An act of the British Parliament in 1765 that exacted revenue from the American colonies by imposing a stamp duty on newspapers and legal and commercial. Did you see that? Legal and commercial documents. Colonial opposition led to the act's repeal, in 1766 and helped encourage the revolutionary movement against the crown. So what did the Stamp Act do? Why was the Stamp Act bad? What else can we read here? History. I want to know how to use it. How do you do it? How do you do's it? I mean, yeah, I guess I could go to the post office and do money order for the purpose, the settlement, what? I can't remember all the words. So let me see. Does anybody out there know about that stuff? Hey, Supreme Being, can you give us some help here? Stamp Act. I'm not saying Supreme Being as in God. I'm saying Supreme Bean, my friend. I have another friend called Nomo Green Beans. I like green beans. They're good. Stamp Act. What was the Stamp Act? I want to know how to use it on this day. Who was involved? How did the Stamp Act Congress? What did the Stamp Act tax? Why was the Stamp Act so controversial? Let me just look at that. I just want to know why it's controversial. So the Stamp Act was very unpopular among colonists. A majority considered it a violation of their rights as Englishmen to be taxed without their consent. Consent that only the colonial legislatures could grant. Their slogan was no taxation without representation. In one of my videos, we talked about the goddess Columbia over there in Washington, D.C. And on their license plates, according to this one guy's video that I put on there, he said that Washington, D.C. on their license plates says no taxation without representation. Maybe that's like a silent protest in a way, because apparently they're not allowed to vote for the president of the United States Corporation because they're supposed to be self-governing over there, them Washington, D.C. peoples. Anywho, let's see, what do we got here? So what? So it was unpopular among colonists. The majority considered it a violation of their rights as Englishmen to be taxed without their consent. Don't really know anything about the Stamp Act. But we have to learn. How we learn without a teacher? We need a teacher. Get a teacher over here, please, because hello. Yeah, I think I need to eat some breakfast. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Okay, cool. Still breakfast time. Good. I literally had to go outside and fix my electricity because it turned off. And hello, kind of need that. I don't have solar. So I had to fix it, push the button to get it back on, and then cover it all up so the rain doesn't get electrocuted. And then I had to clean Karma's sheet. And I was like, putting it in a bucket of water and doing like the old fashioned, you know, because I don't have a washing machine either. I am the washer of the clothes. Gotta do it like old fashioned people. I must be old fashioned. I'm an off-gridder, what can I say? So, Stamp Act, fact, reaction, and legacy history. I want to know how to do it. So, all right. Obviously, they didn't tell us a whole lot, but let's see. How do we apply the Stamp Act? Let's just Google this. How do we apply the 1765 Stamp Act? Let's see if they let us do it. You know, if they tell us. Instead of levying a duty on trade goods, the Stamp Act imposes a direct tax on the colonists. Specifically, the act required that starting in the fall of 1765, legal documents and printed materials must bear a tax stamp provided by commissioned distributors who would collect the tax in exchange for the stamp. Like I know I've sent some documents and I put a little 2-cent stamp or a 5-cent stamp or a $1 stamp, and then I crossed it off and I signed my initials. I was like, I'm just following instructions from the other people, but I don't really know why I'm doing that. Apparently that makes us like the postmaster, is what they said. I don't know how that does that. And you're supposed to put it on the opposite side too, because they turn it around and say, oh, there's nothing here. Just, I don't know. That's the thing that those people are saying, but we need to know how to do this stuff. Like if I'm going to be going here into history, I want to know how to apply it to today. Because check this out. I was taking an art class, history and art. Oh man, can't be talking to anybody right now. Sorry, Tallahassee, Florida. Who could that be? Who's from Tallahassee? Okay, so check this out. I just want to say this really quick. When I went to this art museum with our art history teacher, she was obsessing on the outside of this old Bible that had a belt buckle thing on it and the leather. And she's like, oh, look at the leather, look at the belt buckle. I'm like, yeah, but let's find out what's on the inside. We want to read what's on the inside. Hello, you know, it's not the outside shell that we're interested in. We want to know the inside. And so like when I was writing papers, she was asking the students to write essays about how did Egypt, what's the word? Kind of like influence the Greek, the New World, the Greeks and the whatevers. I was like, dude, seriously, Egypt, look on your dollar bill. It's like for today, She got mad on the thing. She said, I didn't ask you about how do we use it for today. I was asking you how Egypt influenced the new world, like the Greeks. I'm like, the new world, the Greeks, that's still in the past. I want to know how you do it for today. I don't want to like go through the Googles and all this stuff and learn about way back when. I want to know how to apply it and why it's going to work for me today. I'm just saying. So how does the Stamp Act affect us today? That's what I want to know. It imposed a wide-reaching tax in the American colonies, allows, going back again, by requiring the colonists, allows, going back again, to pay a tax on every piece of printed paper used. What? Therefore, this tax impacted nearly every colonist living in British America. Oh, you want to go outside? Okay. All right, hang on. I'm going to have to, I got to pause this because she needs to go outside. Okay, I had to step out in the rain so Karma could do her business out there. And then I decided to cook some eggs. Yeah, I did. Someone cooked her eggs out in the rain. See the steam? I do want to eat them, but I want to eat them right here in front of y'all. And I made myself some Thomas's English muffins. And I'm really hungry because I need to eat something. Don't you hate it when you got to do a whole bunch of things, but you need to, the body is requiring food so that the brain will work. So I'm going to have to put you on pause again because I got to eat my breakfast. Yeah, and then I have an RV repair guy coming to fix my refrigerator because it's not cold. I mean, I can put all the food outside. It's pretty cold out there. It's a good thing I don't have too much food, that needs refrigeration. But later on in the afternoon, I have to pay some guy like $120 or more just to come out, just to look at my fridge, because it could be something little, it could be something big, I don't know, but you need food, right? So I'm gonna have to put you on pause because I need to eat. I'm hungry. All right, cool, thanks. I needed to do that, I need to eat. So where were we? Share screen. We were looking up the Stamp Act and like, how do we apply? Like, how does it affect us today? I don't want that. Who did the Stamp Act? No, I don't want to know about any of that stuff. I want to know, how do we apply it? Okay, so some of the people have, told us how to do it, but then we don't know why it works or what it's all about. And I guess I'm gonna have to look up a book or something. Hey, Colonial Williamsburg. I don't know. Like, I need to know how to study. Let's go on study.com. If it's even going to show us, because, we have to know how to study. We got to know where to go for the references and all that. I hate it when I don't know what to do. Oh, let's see, what is this all about? The consequences for Britain. I don't know. As much as I want to be entertained, got to create an account, huh? History. I wonder if there is a video that would show us, probably on YouTube. War and Taxation Debate, Parliament, Stamp Act, okay. Stamp Act resolves, taxation, yeah, right. Register to view this lesson. Are you a student or a teacher? I guess I'm a student of wanting to know how to learn. I don't want to be like always learning and never able to get to the truth, you know, like it says in the Bible. I don't want to be like that. No, I really want to know how do we do what we need to do? Okay, this doesn't look like it's getting me anywhere. Yeah, have you ever like pushed help on your, computer when you didn't know what to do? And then you don't get any help? This is kind of the same thing. It really does help when you have another person kind of showing you, but they got to know how to back that up too. We can't just believe. What was the Stamp Act definition? Yeah. Who was Crispus attacks? I don't know what that is. Oh, I don't want to know really about history. I really don't. I want to know, how can I apply this to me today? But this looks like something fun. You guys get a chance to go on that study.com. Ooh, it's starting to rain. I'm glad I made my eggs out in the rain, but it was a sprinkle rain. It wasn't too bad. All right, so I don't know. This isn't really getting me anywhere. Maybe I need to look at YouTube. Is this, by the way, am I even screen sharing? Because I've been noticing the last couple videos that I'm not screen sharing. Whoa, hey. Oh, Kelsey Grammer, yeah. Oh, wow, look, see, it's so easy to get distracted. All right. Stamp Act explained. Well, how do you use it? Stamp it oversimplified. What does that mean? Oh, crash course. Let's try that. Let's see. Am I even sharing, you guys? Because I don't know. I think I'm sharing. T taxes, no. Taxes of smuggling, no. I don't want to know about that. Congress explain, no. It's all the old stuff in the end. Boston Tea Party, hey. Yeah, no, I want to know why we use the stamps now. QuickBooks Online, no. No. I mean, a lot of good stuff. Yeah, a lot of good stuff to get distracted on. And all these shiny object chasers, as someone put it, makes you kind of, what is this stamp? Sugar stamp? No, I don't want to know that. All right, what do we, no, okay, so what are we gonna, Stamp Act with Post Office. I don't know. With money orders? Let's try that. I'm going on YouTube, Stamp Act with money orders. A Western Union money order. Western Union money order template. No, I don't think. Money order method, free sauce. How to fill out a money order? No. Can I cash my own money? No. Diary of a post office. Cashing postal money orders. Okay. Diary of a post office window clerk cashing postal money orders. Let me just see what she has to say. I don't know. Diary of a post office clerk window cashing postal money orders.
Okay, Adam Perkins here. I'm here to give another, I'm going to talk about U.S. postal money orders. And the first thing I wanted to say, just imagine this, not to imagine, this is a scenario. This is what happened this morning. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. We open up, okay? We open up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we only have a certain amount of money in our till. And so what happened is a young lady comes in and she has a money order for $300. So I told her that we weren't able to cash it right now. Well, can you ask someone else? Can they cash it? No, no one else can cash. We just opened up. We do not have $300 to cash your money orders. Well, I thought this post office, y'all supposed to be able to cash this postal money order. I said, yes, we do.
Okay. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Using your exemption to discharge debt bills. Hey, I know that guy. Okay, no. Gosh, this is frustrating. Stop paying collections and charge us. I don't know, man. It sucks. I hate being ignorant and not knowing how to do stuff. You know, I mean, hey, there's my buddy, Christopher Hauser. I don't know. I'm getting lost. There's so much distractions. Okay, what are we looking for? I'm going to have to go back to it. Let me see. Yeah, I missed a phone call. All right. So we got to look into the Stamp Duties Act. And it has a chart that will show you the centum. Look into the Stamp Duties Act. All right, we're going to look at the Stamp Duties Act. Stamp Duties Act. I don't know. Okay. Stamp Act, changes in Stamp Duties Act. Nigeria. All you need to know about stamp duty. All right. A mortgage broker. Whoa. How to pay your bills. Okay, that sounds good. How to pay stamp duties. Let's look at Bill Turner. See what he has to say. Stamp duty.
Hi out there in Freeman land. So many people are having trouble with the accepted for value, trying to pay their bills and that. I thought I'd put together a small presentation to see if we could demystify it a little bit and help you on your way to paying those bills. So
yeah, that'll work.
It comes from two main acts, the Stamp Duty Act and the Bills of Exchange Act. So we need to go to several sources just to find out what is going on this. And one of the easiest ways to find out the meaning of words is to go to Bovier's Law Dictionary. That's the address line for it there. So if you type that into your browser, you're going to come up with Bovier's Law Dictionary. And we're going to look at what stamp means. We do use several other sources in this, including the Acts and Butterworth's Law Dictionary. So whichever one is applicable to your country, this is applicable to New Zealand. Just go online, use Google, and you'll find the things. Now, the first thing we're going to find here is that stamp straight out means revenue. Very interesting that, isn't it? An impression made on paper by order of the government, which must be used in reducing certain contracts to writing for the purpose of raising a revenue.
Cool.
I tell you what they're doing straight away there. If you put a stamp on, you're actually raising revenue. So that gives us a bit of a clue to what's going to happen next. Here's another source that we're using. Investopedia, there's the address line for it there. Just copy and swipe that, or just do a Google on Investopedia and you'll find that. But in this one, we got a definition of stamp duty. The tax placed on legal documents, usually in the transfer of assets or property. This duty is customary in the Commonwealth of nation countries, including Singapore and Australia and certain states in the United States. Where enforced, this tax is placed on the transfer of homes, buildings, copyrights, land. Oh, I didn't highlight land there. Patents and securities. Okay, we're all three of those: land, patents, and securities.
Nice.
The transfer of documents in locations where this law exists is only legally enforceable once they are stamped, which
Wow.
shows the amount of tax paid, also referred to as a stamp tax. Okay, now we are land, we have been patented, and we are securities. So what they're doing is transferring our assets or property with stamp duty. So we need to go a bit deeper into this, and we'll look at what Butterworth's New Zealand Law Dictionary says. It says stamp duty, a tax paid on certain documents or transactions. The Stamp and Check Duties Act 1971, Section 10, provided for the the imposition of a stamp duty in respect of conveyances and leases of land. There's another way. We are leasing our own land. And conveyances of shares in a flat or office owning company.
Wow.
However, the Stamp and Duty Abolition Act 1999 abolished stamp duty on instruments executed after the 20th of May 1999. Well, that's what that act says, but is that the actual things? We're going to have a look at the Stamp and Check Duties Act 1971. Now, it's quite interesting that just about everything in this act is repealed, as per what Butterworth says, except for this section. There's a couple of other sections too, but minor compared to this one, and this is the imposition of check duty. So let's dive a little bit deeper into there.
Cool.
Section 77 says check duty payable unless otherwise provided by this act or pursuant to any enactment mentioned in Schedule 1 or by any local or private act. Check duty shall be paid to the Crown on every bill of exchange made or drawn after the commencement of this act. Okay, now this is what we're going to be dealing with, bills of exchange. So check duty must be paid. So let's look a bit further. For the purposes of this section, the expression stamp duty, when used in any act mentioned in Schedule 1 or in any local or private act enforced before the commencement of this, shall, unless the context otherwise requires, include check duty. So stamp duty, check duty, same thing? It would appear that way. It just a play on words by the look of it. Okay, now to find out why we've got ourselves into this situation, we need to look at what money really is. And once again, this is from Bovier's. Gold, silver, and some other less precious metals in the progress of civilization and commerce have become the common standards of value in order to avoid the delay and inconvenience of regulating their weight and quality whenever passed. The governments of the civilized world have caused them to be manufactured in certain portions and marked with a stamp which attests their value. This is called money. Okay, that is what money is: gold, silver, and some other less precious metals. Section 2 of that. For many purposes, banknotes, a check, and negotiable notes will be so considered. To support account for money had and received, the receipt by the defendant of banknotes, promissory notes, credit and account in the books of a third person or any chattel is sufficient and will be treated as money. It's not money, but it will be treated as money. So we've got banknotes, checks, negotiable notes, okay, treated as money. They're not money, but they're treated as money. Constitution of the United States has vested in Congress the power to coin money and regulate the value thereof. There shall be from time to time struck and coined at the said mint coins of gold, silver, and copper of the following denominations, values, and descriptions. Eagles, each to be of the value of $10, or units, and to contain 247 grains and 4/8 of a grain of pure, or 270 grains of standard gold. Half eagles, each to be of the value of $5 and to contain 123 grains and 6/8 of a pure, or 135 grains of a standard gold. Quarter eagles to be of the value of $2, $2.50. So that's $2.50, and to contain 61 grains and 7/8 of a grain of pure, or 67 grains and 4/8 of a grain of standard gold. So therefore, they're telling you that these coins with that amount of gold in are money. Money bills. Now we're getting even more confused. Legislation. This is from legislation. Bills or projects of laws providing for raising revenue and for making grants or appropriations to the public treasure. The first clause of the 7th section of the Constitution of the United States declares all bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives. Now, if you look at what happens in any of your parliaments or House of Representatives, the first thing they do is they put a bill before the parliament. Now, if no one pays that bill, because after it's been passed, after it's had the 3 readings, if no one pays that bill, it then gets put on the population to pay it. But there is a way to pay it. But the Senate made proposal concur with amendments as on other bills. What bills are properly bills for raising revenue in the sense of the Constitution has been matter of some discussion in practice. The power has been confirmed to levy taxes in the strict sense of the words and has not been understood to extend to bills for other purposes, which may incidentally create revenue. So what they're saying there is that once those bills come through Parliament, if someone does not realise and pay the bill, then we are going to get left with the tab for it, because after 90 days, it then becomes the law or the statute, and then we have to pay for it. And then the cops and all the other agencies run out there and collect the revenue from that bill.
Wow.
Okay, now let's look at what a bill is. It comes from the mercantile law.
Wow.
An account containing the items of goods sold or of work done by one person against another. It differs from an account stated in this. The latter is a bill approved and sanctioned by the debtor, whereas a bill is made out by the creditor alone. So say you engage your local plumber or carpenter to do a job for you. That is a bill approved and sanctioned by you, the debtor, whereas a bill is made out by the creditor alone, okay? And this is how they're catching us. But by now, we should be coming to the conclusion that we no longer use money, we use paper, and that paper is used in place of money. So we need to look a little bit further to see how we're going to use this paper correctly, because unfortunately, we've not been taught how to correctly deal with the paper and end up in court or paying fines for not dealing with it correctly. So if you realize that everything that is given to you is a presentment, and if you deal with it correctly, it will be paid. Okay, so we'll look at the Bills of Exchange Act, and we'll see that a bill means bills of exchange and note means promissory note. Okay, we'll be relying on this act and the Checks Act quite a bit during this presentation. Bill of Exchange defined. A bill of exchange is an unconditional order in writing addressed by one person to another. So if you have a letter sent to you, it will be from one person. Now, just having their corporate logo in the corner is one person, and they've addressed it to another person, which is you. So that is a bill of exchange. Now, it must be signed by the person giving it, requiring the person to whom it is addressed to pay on demand or at a fixed or determinable future time a sum certain of money to the order of a specified person or to the bearer. 2, an instrument that does not comply with these conditions or that orders any act to be done in addition to the payment of money is not a bill of exchange. An order to pay out of a particular fund is not unconditional within the meaning of this section, but an unqualified order to pay coupled with an indication of a particular fund out of which the drawee is to reimburse himself, or a particular account to be debited with the amount, or a statement of the transaction giving rise to the bill is unconditional. Now, we'll just go back to 3 there. 3A, 3 and 3A. An unqualified order to pay coupled with an indication of a particular fund. Now, if you've received your printout or your birth certificate, you will know the fund number to put on the document, okay? A bill is not invalid that it is not dated, it does not specify the value given, it does not specify the place where it is drawn, because it is drawn in the Treasury. Capacity of parties. Now, capacity to incur liability as a party to a bill is coextensive with capacity to contract. So in other words, you must be an adult. Provided that nothing in this section shall enable a corporation to make itself liable as a drawer, acceptor, or endorser of a bill, unless it is competent to do so, to do under the law for the time being in force relating to corporations. Now, as we are a corporation or dead at law, we are not really competent. But where a bill is drawn or endorsed by a minor, that is us, because we have never grown to adulthood, by a minor or corporation, have no capacity or power to incur liability on a bill, the drawing or endorsement entitles the holder to receive payment of the bill and to enforce it against any other parties thereto. Okay, so what happens as a minor, we sign it, send the bill back to them. They are entitled to go to our trust account and receive payment for it.
Interesting.
And that's what we're going to be doing.
Oh.
Saving Section 98 of the Bills of Exchange Act, the rules of common law, including the law merchant, save insofar as that they are inconsistent with the express provisions of this Act, shall continue to apply to bills of exchange, promissory notes, and cheques. Nothing in this Act shall affect the provisions of the Stamp and Cheque Duties Act, or any law in it or enactment for the time being enforced relating to the revenue. The provisions of the Companies Act 1995. Okay, 1955, sorry. Okay, now, they're telling us here that the Stamp and Cheque Duties Act is very important. So we need to start having a look and seeing what the Stamp and Cheque Duties Act says. Section 78 says rates of cheque duty. Cheque duty shall be computed at the rate of 5 cents per bill of exchange. Okay, that's all. You put a 5-cent stamp on it. Cheque duty prepaid on bill of exchange forms under Section 8 shall be computed at the rate of 5 cents per form. That doesn't concern us. That's for the corporates. Stamp and Cheque Duties Act, Section 84, cheque duty payable otherwise than under a license. This section applies to all bills of exchange for which cheque duty has not been prepaid in accordance with Section 81. So you can guarantee that that what we receive as a presentment has not had the cheque duty prepaid. So in this section, duly stamped means affixing a postage stamp or stamps on the face of the bill of exchange for the amount of the cheque duty payable on the bill. Okay, now we know that that's 5 cents, so we have to put a 5-cent stamp on it. B, effectively cancelling each postage stamp so as to render it incapable of being used again. So you just need to put an X on it or put your initials on it, and stating on the bill the true date of cancellation. So we put a date stamp on the date that we cancel it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Postage stamp has the same meaning as in Section 2.1 of the Postal Services Act. Right, let's examine a real-life example of a bill of exchange. And the first thing that we notice is statement. So I guess you all know what statement means, or maybe not. So let's have a look. A written list of transactions noting money owed and money paid. A detailed statement of mutual demands arising out of a contract or a fiduciary relationship. We are in a fiduciary relationship and we have people looking after our trust accounts. So we are in a fiduciary relationship.
Cool.
An account can simply list payments, losses, sales, debits, credits, and other monetary transactions, or it may go further and show a balance or the results of comparing opposite transactions like purchases and sales. Business persons keep accounts. Attorneys may keep escrow accounts. And now this is what we want. And executors must keep accounts that record transactions in administering an estate. So the executors are administering our deceased estate. And so this is why they're sending statements to us. Now they want us to fill them out correctly and send them back.
Wow.
We haven't been doing that, folks.
Oh,
Very
my
naughty of us, but let's see if we can do something about that. Okay, the next item we see is payment advice.
Whoa.
Now, as we've not been able to make payments since 1933, we need to look at the reverse side to see how we make payments. See, right down the bottom, it says instructions on how to pay your credit card bill can be viewed on the reverse, okay? Now, most people just jump straight to the other side, see an amount there and go and pay it. But I can assure you that they will never, ever write the correct amount in there. They will only ever put numbers with that funny little S with a line through it. So they're not being deceitful, they're just omitting certain items. So let's look at the back now and see what we can do. And the first part we'll see, I'll make it a bit bigger here so you can see. How to pay your credit card bill. Pay by automatic payment or direct debit. You can set this up at any ASB branch or by calling 0800 blah, blah, blah. Now, the part that we want, send your payment by post.
Cool.
There's the first clue. Payment. If we want to make payment, we must send it by post. Send the payment advice. That's the slip above there. Slip from your statement with your check. It is also your check.
Wow.
So it's your payment advice and it's also your check. To the ASB Bank Limited Payments, PO Box 35 Shortland Street, Auckland. Please write your credit card account number and name on reverse of your check. They've given us the clue there.
Wow.
So that's what we're going to be doing, folks. Let's have a look a little bit more before we jump into filling out our bill. So the bills of exchange at section 39 tells us when presentment for acceptance is necessary, number one, where a bill is payable after sight, presentment for acceptance is necessary in order to fix the maturity of the instrument. That means that they have to present it to us. So where a bill expressly stipulates that it shall be presented for acceptance, or where a bill is drawn payable elsewhere. Now, this is payable elsewhere because it's payable in the treasury. So where a bill is drawn payable elsewhere, then at the residence or place of business of the drawee, it must be presented for acceptance before it can be presented for payment. So because it must go to the treasury for payment, they must present it to us first for acceptance before we can before they can present it for payment. So if we do it wrong, then we don't get payment. Okay, so they must send it to us or present it to us, and we must accept it before it can be presented for payment. I hope you got that. The business of the drawee is the treasury, I can assure you. They are therefore presenting us with the bill for payment. So let's take payment of the bill correctly. Not with these.
Cool.
Discharge of a bill. Okay, now this is what we want. Payment in due course. A bill is discharged by payment in due course by or on behalf of the drawee or acceptor. Okay, so they've sent it to us for acceptance. Now we must accept that if we want it to be discharged and paid. So payment in due course means payment to the holder of the bill made at or after the maturity thereof in good faith and without notice that the holder's title is defective. Now the holder's title will be defective because they have the title over us. Okay, subject to the provisions herein contained, when a bill is paid by the drawer or endorser, it is not discharged, but where a bill payable to or to the order of a third party, okay, payable to or to the order of a third party. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is John Doe, the real man, is going to be ordering the third party, which is the straw man. Okay, do you get that? Where a bill payable to or to the order of a third party. So John Doe, the real man, will order John Doe, the straw man, to pay. Is paid by the drawer. The drawer may enforce payment thereof against the acceptor, but may not reissue the bill. Where a bill is paid by an endorser, or where a bill is payable to the drawer's order, is paid by the drawer. The party paying it is remitted to his former rights as regards the acceptor or antecedent parties, and may, if he thinks fit, strike out his own and subsequent endorsements and again negotiate the bill. Right, now here we go. Where an accommodation bill is paid in due course by the party accommodated, the bill is discharged. Okay, so we need to accept, if you go right back to the top of the page there, if we accept it as the acceptor by accommodation, the bill is discharged. So they've sent it to us to accept. We accept it by accommodation. The bill is discharged. I hope that's clear enough. Alteration of a bill. Where a bill or acceptance is materially altered without the assent of all parties liable on the bill. Now, there's only two parties liable on the bill. That's the real man and the straw man. Okay, so where a bill of acceptance is materially altered without the assent of all parties liable on the bill, can the straw man say anything? No, so you're the only party that can. The bill is avoided except as against a party who has himself made, authorized, or assented to the alteration and subsequent endorses, provided that where a bill has been materially altered, but the alteration is not apparent, and the bill is in the hands of a holder in due course, such holder may avail himself of the bill as if it had not been altered, and may enforce payment of it according to its original tenor. In particular, the following alterations are material, namely, any alteration of the date, the sum payable, time of payment, place of payment, where a bill has been accepted generally, the addition of a place of payment without the acceptor's assent. Okay, now we are going to be altering the bill. We're going to be altering the sum payable. So the alteration of a bill, you need to know this to alter it. Okay, acceptance for honor super protest. Where a bill of exchange has been protested for dishonor by non-acceptance, okay, if we don't accept it, they can protest it for non-acceptance. So we need to look at a bill may be accepted for honor for part only of the sum for which it is drawn, okay, and we will be doing part only, I can assure you. An acceptance for honor super protest, in order to be valid, must be written on the bill and indicate that it is an acceptance for honor and be signed by the acceptor for honor. Where an acceptance for honor does not expressly state for whose honor it is made, it is deemed to be an acceptance for the honor of the drawer. Where a bill payable after sight is accepted for honor, its maturity is calculated from the date of the noting for non-acceptance and not from the date of the acceptance for honor.
What?
Okay, so now we're going to have a look at our payment check, and now needs to be detached and filled out correctly. See, please tear here. They're telling you this is your check. You need to pay your check duty. So tear it off there, and let's go about doing this now. Here we go.
This is
Here's
awesome.
our consideration. We're paying valuable consideration of $1. So we put a New Zealand $1 stamp or wherever you are. Now you must not deface this because that is the payment.
Okay.
Then we pay our stamp duty. There it is there, 5 cents. We saw that before. Now we've defaced it by putting initials on it, and we've put a date stamp on it, being the 3rd of March, 2013. Now, I made a mistake here, so I hope you forgive me. but write $1 here because that is the consideration that we have paid, and that is the amount that we must write there. So write $1 New Zealand dollar only, or $1 American dollar, $1 Australian dollar, whatever it is that you are. Okay, so have a good look at that. That is the way that you fill out the check. Now, we saw before, from the bottom line above, please write your credit card account number and name on reverse of your check. So this is the reverse of the check. So up the top there, we've written our credit card number and we've written John Henry Doe. Okay. All the payment instructions are there. We've just never bothered to read them correctly. So now it says, please write your credit card account number and name on reverse of your check. So we've done that. So that takes care of the check. So now we've just got two more things to check up before we finish this. An accommodation party to a bill is a person who has signed a bill as drawer, acceptor, that's us, or endorser without receiving value therefore, and for the purpose of lending his name to some other person. We already know who that other person is. That's our straw man. 2, an accommodation party. All right, so now we know we're acceptor and we're doing it by accommodation. An accommodation party is liable on the bill to a holder for value, and it is immaterial when such holder took the bill, he knew such party to be an accommodation party or not. Okay, so we're going to be doing it by accommodation. 3, bill of exchange defined. Now this is from the Bills of Exchange Act. 3B, a statement of the transaction giving rise to the bill is unconditional. Okay, we've already gone through that, but we'll check this out again now here from a previous slide. A statement giving rise to the account, making it unconditional. There you go. That's the statement, and that will make the whole thing unconditional. Also from the previous slide, we have signed as acceptor by accommodation. I have done a little modification at the end of this after reading a bit more thoroughly, and you'll see that a bit later. Okay, now how to make your credit card payment. Now send it off to the address listed on the back and you have made payment. There we go, PO Box 35 Shorten Street, Auckland. Okay, so it says up the top there, right up there, how to pay your credit card bill. So if we follow those instructions, we have now paid the bill.
This is awesome.
And as I was saying, here's my afterthought now. I think it might be better, or it certainly wouldn't hurt to write accepted for value, paid to the order of John Doe in accordance satisfaction with Bills of Exchange Act 1908 by accommodation, John Doe. Now, I certainly hope that this helps with paying all those bills, and please share this with everyone else and help them to pay their bills. Have a good day.
1908. That is so awesome, you guys. Wow, dude, you better what is this, Bill Turner? You better subscribe. I'm just saying, subscribe and like to that guy. That was awesome. Wow. I'm going to do that with the court thing. I'm going to look at my minute order and see if there's any instructions, or if it looks like it's a bill. Well, that was awesome. You guys, I think we need to do that. Excuse me. It's really raining hard now, but that is so cool.
I am a primary care physician.